The world thought she was just grieving. That Tiffany Mann, the quiet daughter of gospel royalty, would mourn in silence. But at 2 a.m., a red live notification shattered everything. Tiffany Mann is live. The internet exploded. Cameras switched. Screens lit up. And there she was, hair messy, eyes swollen, holding a tiny Bluetooth speaker like it was a weapon. "I've been quiet long enough," she said, her voice shaking. Not from sadness, but rage. She hit play. David Mann's voice echoed through the speaker. "Tamala was never meant to survive. Jackie, you knew that. You signed off, too." The world froze. Comments flooded in. "Excuse me?
Her own dad said that."
Lord have mercy. This is evil." Tiffany didn't flinch.
"She wasn't sick," she said.
"They made her sick.
"Poison her with meds."
Faked a diagnosis. Signed off prescription forms behind her back. And you want to talk about faith? She waved a paper in front of the screen. "This right here is the form Jackie signed. Heavy drugs. False dementia diagnosis. My mother was never confused. They were gaslighting her. Erasing her." Then another audio clip played. David again, calm. "If she wakes up and talks, we lose everything. The empire stays ours if she stays silent." Tiffany's voice broke. "You called this a ministry?"
"No."
This was a business. A kingdom built on her silence. Her suffering. Then the live cut off. But it was too late. The clip exploded across Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Hashtags flooded, hashtag David Mann canceled, hashtag justice for Tamala, hashtag expose Jackie now, and in a dim hospital room, a nurse whispered, "Tama, they're fighting for you." Tama's eyelids fluttered. She heard them, and she wasn't done yet. It was just past 2 a.m. when a quiet buzz hit thousands of phones across the nation. Tiffany Mann is live. The gospel world froze. No one expected Tamala's daughter to go live at that hour. Not after weeks of silence, pain, and rumors. But when her face appeared on the screen, disheveled and red-eyed, everyone watching knew this wasn't going to be ordinary. She didn't open with greetings. No scriptures. No rehearsed lines. She stared into the lens, fire in her eyes, a tiny Bluetooth speaker trembling in her hand. "I've been quiet long enough," she said. "Y'all want truth? I've got truth. No more church PR. No more pretending. You're about to hear what really happened to my mother." And with one tap, she pressed play. What followed shattered the internet. David Mann's voice, her own father, crackled through the speaker, cold and unapologetic. "Tama was never meant to survive. Jackie, you knew that. You signed off, too." The comments exploded instantly. "Excuse me?" He said, "What? Y'all, is this real?" But Tiffany wasn't done. She stood her ground, tears pooling in her eyes. Not from sadness, but fury. Her voice trembled, but her rage gave her strength. "You think we were the perfect gospel family? All God and hallelujah?"
"No."
"We were a damn brand. And my mom, the heart of that brand, was treated like an asset, like a burden when she got sick, like a business plan when she got quiet." She held up a stack of papers, visibly shaking. "This is the prescription form. Heavy sedatives. Dated 3 weeks before my mom collapsed. Signed by Dr. Jackie. For a fake diagnosis. Dementia." She laughed bitterly, blinking back tears. "Dementia? My mother was writing an album a month before that. Touring. Rehearsing. How did she suddenly forget her own lyrics? Forget her words? Forget me?" That's when she revealed the second recording. This time, David's voice was even colder. "As long as she's silent, the empire stays ours. If she wakes up and talks, we lose everything." You could feel hearts breaking across the live. Shock turned to nausea. Thousands watching couldn't believe what they were hearing. This wasn't just betrayal. This was premeditated. Gospel's power couple wasn't just broken. They were burning down the kingdom they built, with Tamala still inside it. The comments turned into a digital riot. "Lock him up. That poor woman gave him everything. Jackie needs to lose her license yesterday." Tiffany's voice cracked, but she didn't fall apart. She leaned closer to the camera and whispered, "You let her fade. And when she couldn't speak anymore, you tried to erase her. But guess what, Daddy? I found her voice. And I'm using it." Then she ended the live. No warning. No outro. Just blackness. But the damage was already done. Within minutes, clips were everywhere. Hollywood Unlocked, The Shade Room, Gospel News Daily. Even mainstream outlets like CNN and BET were running segments by sunrise. Twitter trended globally. Hashtag Justice for Tamala, hashtag David Mann cancelled, hashtag Jackie next. Meanwhile, Tamala lay silent in a hospital bed. Eyes closed. IVs running. Body still frail. But something happened in that moment. A nurse, watching the live from the hallway, quietly turned the screen toward Talma. And as the audio played, her eyelids fluttered. Her fingers twitched. She heard it. She heard everything. Doctors said it was a coincidence, a reflex. But Tiffany knew. She knew her mother wasn't gone. She was fighting, even from that bed. Even drugged. Even betrayed. She was still holding on. Back online, gospel fans were spiraling. Old interviews of David praising Tamala were now seen in a new light. Manipulative, strategic, hollow. Sermons he gave on loyalty were now exposed as hypocrisy. He didn't just fall from grace. He was dragged out of heaven's front gate. Churches began pulling his music. Bookings canceled. Artists distanced themselves overnight. And Jackie? Silent. Vanished. Her clinic's Instagram deleted. Her LinkedIn scrubbed. But Tiffany? She wasn't done. She posted to her story. "I have more. You think this was the only recording? Buckle up." The morning after Tiffany's explosive Instagram live, the world had changed. Gospel fans, loyal churchgoers, and the entire Black faith-based entertainment community were in absolute meltdown. Radio hosts canceled their Sunday programming to cover what they were now calling the Tamala Mann Gospel assassination. Outside Tamala's hospital, news vans lined the block. Protesters stood with signs. "We believed in you, David. Tama deserved better. Arrest Jackie now." Meanwhile, Tiffany had gone completely silent. No new posts. No stories. No appearances. Some thought she'd been silenced. Others feared something worse. Then another explosion. An anonymous tipster leaked a full 17-minute phone call to Hollywood Unlocked. It was traced to a burner phone Tiffany allegedly found hidden inside Jackie's bathroom cabinet. And the voice on that recording? Crystal clear. "David Mann, you should have just stuck with the plan. We already bought the doctor off. You had one job, Jackie." Jackie. "Don't blame me. It was Tiffany who started digging around. She was supposed to be on our side."
David, she's weak.
Just like her mother. Always putting emotions before the empire. "I should have never trusted either of them." The line crackles. Jackie. "So what do we do now, David?" David. "We shut her down. Just like we did to Tamala." The internet collapsed. Church elders who had defended David for decades sat in stunned silence. Fans began burning their David and Tamala Mann merch on TikTok. Entire gospel radio stations pulled David's tracks off their playlists within hours. And Tiffany? She returned. But this time, not through Instagram. This time in person. Wearing all black. No makeup. No glam. No filters. She walked into First Sanctified Baptist Church in Houston. Cameras followed her every step. She stepped up to the pulpit where her father used to preach. And with a single deep breath, she spoke. "My mother sang about God, but she was living with the devil." Gasps echoed through the congregation. "My father told millions of people we were a God-fearing family. But behind closed doors, he feared losing control more than he feared God." Her voice cracked. "You all saw my mom glowing on stage, but you didn't see her when the cameras went off. You didn't see her crying on the bathroom floor because her hands wouldn't stop shaking. You didn't see the pills Jackie handed her saying, 'This will help you sleep.' You didn't see the diagnosis SG forged. Dementia, early onset. My mom thought she was going crazy, but she wasn't. She was being poisoned. Bit by bit, day by day. by the very people who claim to love her.
And now,
Now I have to carry her voice, because they wanted to silence it. Asterisk, asterisk, tears streamed down faces in the audience. An old woman screamed, "That poor child." Someone in the back collapsed from shock. And then, Tiffany reached into her purse. She pulled out a vial labeled with Tiffany Mann's name, dated, initialed by Dr. Jackie Lewis. She held it up. This is what they were giving her. Not vitamins, not supplements. Sedatives strong enough to take down a grown man. And guess what? The doctor who prescribed this? She disappeared last night.
gone.
No statement. No response. Asterisk, asterisk, the media frenzy doubled. CNN picked up the story. NBC ran a segment titled, "From Stage to Silence, The Fall of Gospel's Golden Couple." And then came the hospital update. Tiffany Mann had woken up. Not fully, not entirely lucid, but her eyes opened. And when Tiffany walked into that room, holding her hand, Tamala squeezed back. The nurse asked softly, "Do you know who this is?" Tamala didn't speak. She just mouthed one word, "Betrayed." Tiffany broke down on the floor, on her knees, screaming, "I'm so sorry, Mama. I tried. I didn't know. I didn't see it until it was too late." In the background, someone filmed the entire moment. It hit 1 million views in 7 hours. But while fans cried and churches prayed, David was nowhere to be found. He hadn't posted. He hadn't released a statement. He hadn't been seen in public since Tiffany's live, until paparazzi caught him at a gas station in Texas. Hood up,
Glasses on.
and when they shouted questions, "David, did you really say Tamala was never meant to survive? Did you drug your wife for the empire?" David only muttered one thing before speeding off. "You don't know what she did." Suddenly, people started to wonder, what secret could Tama have possibly held that was worth killing for? And just like that, the conspiracy theories exploded. The comment sections turned into battlefields. Screenshots of the prescription form. Snippets of David's voice. Tiffany's tear-streaked face. All over TikTok, X, and gospel gossip pages. Every second, new influencers reacted. Pastors stayed silent. But the streets were screaming. Outside the hospital, reporters began gathering. People lit candles. Old fans held Tamala's gospel albums like relics. One woman sobbed into a microphone. "She prayed me through my cancer. And now she's the one fighting alone.
This ain't right. This ain't godly."
Inside, Tiffany stood at Tamala's bedside, holding her hand with trembling fingers. "You heard it, didn't you, Mama? You heard him say it." Tamala's fingers twitched again, and then her lips parted. Barely a whisper. "Tiffany." Tiffany gasped. She dropped to her knees, clutching her mother's hand. "I'm here, Mama. I'm not leaving.
I fought for you.
I told the world." The nurse ran to alert the doctors. Cameras outside the hospital caught the flash of chaos. Security moved fast. Tiffany vanished into the elevator with her mother. Tama was being rushed into testing. The doctors didn't understand how she came back so fast. But Tiffany knew Tamala didn't wake up because of medicine. She woke up because the truth had finally been spoken. And then, just as things started to feel hopeful, boom. The drama escalated again. A voicemail
Leaked.
this time from Jackie. TMZ published it within the hour. Jackie's voicemail. "We did what we had to do." She was becoming unstable. She kept talking about demons in the house and said God told her to shut down the studio. You think BET would have kept our show if she was rambling like that on camera? "We protected the brand." Tiffany was pacing in the hospital hallway when she heard it. The voicemail. Jackie's voice. "She's talking about my mother like she was a liability," Tiffany whispered. She didn't even wait. She pulled out her phone. Another Instagram Live. This time 180K people joined in under 5 minutes. Tiffany looked straight into the camera. Her voice firm. Shaking. "Righteous. Let me get this straight. You drugged my mother without her consent, under a fake diagnosis, so you wouldn't lose a show. You wanted her gone so you could keep your own image clean. And now you call it protecting the brand?" Jackie, I hope every church you step into booms you out the door. Because you ain't gospel. You ain't godly. You a devil in heels. The comments blew up again. Expose her, Tiffany. She did it for show. Jackie's finished. And then Tiffany dropped a bomb no one expected. I talked to my mama's real doctor. The one they fired before bringing in Jackie's fake friend. He said Tamala showed no signs of dementia.
None.
But somehow, the second Jackie started signing her forms, she was on 6 different sedatives and couldn't even remember her own lyrics. Asterisk, asterisk, tears streamed down Tiffany's face. She thought she was losing her mind, but it was y'all, poisoning her, slowly, quietly, until she couldn't even speak. Then, she pulled a photo from her pocket. On one side, a radiant Tamala, smiling, eyes vibrant, taken just 2 weeks before the collapse. Next to it, a screenshot of Tamala, hooked up to machines, barely alive. You did this, Tiffany whispered. And I swear to God, y'all not getting away with it. Meanwhile, inside Tamala's hospital room, a miracle was unfolding. Tamala sat up. The doctors were stunned. Machines beeped. Steady now, Tamala whispered. Where's David? The nurse looked at her gently. Tiffany exposed him. He's gone. And you're safe now. Tamala's eyes closed again, but this time, not from sedation. This time, it was peace. Back online, the gospel community was in chaos. Choir leaders stepped forward. Former staffers from the Mann's production house came out anonymously, revealing years of mistreatment, silence, NDAs, and Tamala's slow isolation from all business decisions. One even posted, I thought she had memory loss, but now it all makes sense. They were pushing her out. Prayer vigils were announced in Atlanta. Then Houston. The Mann family empire, once held together by the image of gospel perfection, was falling apart like wet tissue paper. And then came the final twist. Tiffany released one more audio clip. David's voice. If she doesn't die, then you and I both go down, Jackie. It's that simple.
Silence.
Then again, David. I already paid the doctor. He knows what to do. Tiffany didn't speak during this clip. She didn't need to. The world heard everything it needed to hear. Within hours, federal investigators confirmed they were reviewing the case. Medical fraud, attempted homicide, conspiracy to commit. Jackie disabled all her social media. David vanished. His publicist refused comment.
And Tiffany?
She sat beside her mother, holding her hand, not crying this time, but humming one of her mother's songs. The same one Tamala used to sing in the choir when Tiffany was just a little girl in the front row. Take me to the king. And this time, Tamala hummed back. So now what? What do we even do when the face of gospel, the man who preached love and redemption, gets exposed as the one orchestrating his own wife's downfall? Tamala Mann is not just a singer. She's not just a mother, not just a wife, not just an icon. She was the heartbeat of a family